So Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra has finally released. I'm sure a lot of you have been having so much fun on this game, you know, the matches that you can actually get into. But have you noticed a pattern with some of your teammates? Well, I certainly have, because what do you mean you're rushing in like it's an arena fighter? What do you mean you're sat AFK as soon as the game starts? But by the way, you have to press the space bar to get in the game and choose your character and your little minion thing with ugly Cabba. Boy, well, if you've noticed this, then this video could just be for you. And also for the people that do this, because you are annoying as hell, man. I'm mad. I'm very mad. So I'm going to give you some ways how you can improve your skills and gameplay experience within Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. I really dislike that name. So the first one is pretty obvious. I'm just going to get it out of the way, and that is understanding the game and the roles. This is, of course, a MOBA style game. This is a game like League of Legends. From my knowledge, this is something completely new to the Dragon Ball franchise, so there's no surprise that some people are playing it like a fighting game. But you can't do this, or you will lose. Because it's a 4 versus 4 MOBA style game, teamwork, map awareness, and objectives are way more important than just rushing in and fighting and seeing how many kills you can get. Now, of course, rushing in and fighting does happen in these games. These are still pretty important factors of the game, but it's not the most important factor of the game. Now, in this game, there are actually 3 main hero roles, which is the damage, the tank, and the tactical or support, as most people call it. Each has its strengths and weaknesses, but what I've been seeing is people going in technical or support, it's kind of the same name, choosing Krillin or Majin Buu and rushing in like you're a tank or a DPS. I mean, this has got to be one of your biggest mistakes if you're doing this. If you're using Krillin, you could probably get away with it because Krillin is genuinely really good in this game, but with everyone else, definitely not. To improve your experience when playing as these 3 main roles, you need to know what your role is in context. So where are you going to be positioned on the map? What are the enemies doing? How could the enemy's movement be a danger to the role / character you've chosen? Now, put it simply, if you're a tank such as Cooler, Vegeta, or Zamasu, and you see 2 enemies approaching you, you then have 2 choices. You can either back away and go to your DPS, or you can most likely take on both of them due to your extra HP and damage output. You're a tank, but as a strike, you'd want to fall back. You'd want to go to your support, or as a support character, you'd want to fall back and go to whatever other role is available. You need to take into account everything you do when it comes to MOBA games. How you move, when you fight, and what abilities you save. Maybe not so much on the ability side in this game because they recharge pretty quick compared to other games. So that was the pretty obvious one out of the way. You know, understanding the characters and the roles and what to do and what you can do. Okay, so for number 2, I see a lot of people do this in the higher matches, and that is people not going for their early game priorities, which is farming and safety and objectives and so on. In my opinion, and what's worked for me the most, is that in the early phase, focus on farming minions and the lanes. Get the XP that you need and the resources rather than kills that you can't win and kills that don't actually matter towards your end goal. At the end of the day, your end goal is to get that Dragon Ball, not to get the most kills. Unless you're having fun, of course, then by all means, go ahead. Farm as many Cell Juniors that you can. Go for the golden ones. Go for these Supreme Kais that spawn at the midway point of your lane. Trust me, if you have abilities that are higher level than the enemies, you are pretty much guaranteed to win that fight if you just went in head on. Again, while you're at these early stages of the match, you also still need to be mindful of what is going on the minimap and where your enemies actually are. Just remember, you can't see your enemies at all times. They may look like they're not doing a lot if you can see them, but there's always a potential chance that they have a much higher level than you. You want to avoid being caught out alone, especially in these early phases. Something that I believe could be unique to this game is look looking out for the bosses that spawn throughout the match as it happens. This would come in Nappa with the Cybermen, Ribrianne, Jacko, and of course the GOAT, Android 16. Go for them, especially if you're losing the round. Go for them. Don't just let them sit there, because these can genuinely be such a game changer. Now for number 3, I have the mid and late game. A lot of things I see is people rushing to the God of Destruction as soon as one of the Xenos land on it. Don't do this, alright? Just don't. You need to push these objectives when it's safe to do so. Some examples of this are after winning the fights, after taking some buffs, when you know for sure that the enemies are guarding another one of their God of Destructions, or they're so scattered around that they possibly couldn't make it in time. And also remember that pressure can open the map. When you force the enemy to respond to your actions, it can create those openings. And this is what I was saying earlier about rushing into fights. This could be one good way of getting away, I said away twice, with rushing in to these fights. It creates an opening. But don't do it as a support. I swear to God, do not do it as a support. Unless you're Krillin. Krillin is GOAT. Using your abilities / combos tactically. Around mid and late game, I'd hope that you'd have all of your abilities, including your ultimate. If the enemy has a pattern, such as predictable dodging or movement, a lot of people will dodge backwards for some reason. Exploit it. This is just like other games in the franchise, such as Sparking Zero, Xenoverse. Reading your opponent is really important, and recognizing their patterns. Now, a big one that I use is when an enemy starts running away from fighting me, and I'm playing as someone like Vegeta, I will then use my Ki Blast to stop their flying away animation so I can get in close once again. Then I fire the purple Big Bang attack looking thing, and then I go into the explosion and knock them away. This just does an amazing amount of damage, and I highly recommend that you do this if you use Vegeta. And of course for number 3, I have put down the big abilities carelessly. A lot of people will use their ultimate just kind of randomly. I'm guilty of this a lot actually, because I play while watching stuff at the same time. But if you're going for the win, you need to plan these out properly. Save your ultimate attacks for the team fights, or to secure the major objectives like the Gods of Destructions, or again, the bosses that spawn around the map. Or maybe even when you're really low on HP, you can quickly pop an ult. Usually you can survive or manage to run away after firing it. Not all the time, it's kind of like 60%. Now for number 4, I understand that not everyone can do this. I myself can't do this, and of course that is team cooperation and synergy. This mainly works with friends and people you're actually playing with. Like I said, not everyone can do this. I myself can't do this, and that's okay, but I just thought for this video I will include that as well. So if you're playing with people and you can communicate, try to make a balanced team. Don't have way too many strikes or way too many tanks. If you have too many damage characters, you're going to have no support. Like, you're really fragile. But then if you pick too many support characters, you're going to be weak in these big fights that you're going to have to take for the team. Of course, learning a few heroes in each role is probably the best thing you can do. Again, playing with friends or just other people, being able to switch between roles and having someone that you're comfortable with is always a bonus point. So if you always play Strike and someone's asked you to switch to support, you can then switch to support knowing that you're gonna be fine with a character you already understand. And of course, communicating with your team. Now for people like me and all the other homies out there that realistically probably don't have any friends, you know, I'm shooting myself with that one. This game gives you a ping system. Even if your team doesn't listen to your pings, it's still good to use them, especially in those late games. Personally, I spam the hell out of this button. I mean, I do it out of rage, I do it out of annoyance. I mean, why is there 3 people going on one path and leaving me to go on the other path on my own? I mean, make it make sense. But even these simple pings can be an absolute game changer when you're fighting these enemies. For number 5, I have mastering the movement of the game. I'm not a big fan of the movement when it comes to Gekishin Squadra, but you can still learn it. Such as mastering the dodging system / avoiding where enemies' attacks are gonna land, projectiles from a difference, or just predictable enemy bursts. Remember, your God of Destruction protection is there. The angel that is also with them can heal you, so using this dodging mechanic can be a lifesaver. Even in attack combos, this dodge can be huge. Don't just spam it. For number 7, I just have learning, really. You know, losing is a part of learning, and that can be applied to anything in life. You know, after a loss that was incredibly bad, maybe just reflect on it a bit. Like, was it bad positioning? Lack of coordination? Wrong hero pick? Then just try something new the next time. Keep working at it until something eventually sticks. Of course, you can watch streamers, YouTubers play the game, see what their decision making is like, when to fight, when to retreat, all of that stuff. And of course, practicing regularly as well. But for me, just going in and having fun was how I enjoyed the game the most. But obviously, this is a how to get better video and not how to have fun in the video, because fun isn't allowed. That's why. If you carry just a few of these into your next matches, then maybe, just maybe, you might start to see a difference in how you're playing. Farming better, choosing the right fights, coordinating with your team when possible, and hopefully you'll start seeing those wins come in a lot more often. And at the end of the day, every small improvement adds up to the bigger picture. So good luck to everyone who is playing the game when it actually lets you get into a match. And yeah, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. Might as well leave a comment and a like while you're down there. And I will see you whenever I appear again.